Coming up.
I got into social media. I actually introduced him to social media. I used to get in trouble. Like, why are you wasting your time on Twitter? Because it's going to be a thing. At some point, I was given an opportunity by Auto Alert to come learn how to be a trainer. I'm like, wait, you're going to teach me how to teach others to be really good at their job? I'm all in. Let's go do this. I have what I call the 3 I's of leadership: identity, integrity, and influence. And I always start with identity, because too many women have this seed of self-doubt that you will never get there.
Out and say, like, I don't want to be the leader anymore. I want to be in my feminine energy. I want to, submit to his leadership and all of that. What's frequently missed in that, you think?
The trust to let them make mistakes. I'm actually in the process of writing my fifth. Yes.
How did I not know this?
And then I'm writing a very more in-depth book about my views on marriage and relationships.
Revving up the auto industry, one conversation at a time. Featuring industry leaders, auto experts, and trailblazers. We are bringing you unfiltered interviews highlighting the voices all around the industry. Let's cut through the noise. Join us. Let's light it up together. Hosted by Shasta Haddock. This is I'm a Car Chick podcast.
And we're back with another episode of the I'm a Car Chick podcast. It's Shasta. I hope you know that by now, but if not, or if you're new here, hi, my name's Shasta, and I host the I'm a Car Chick podcast. Today's guest is a dear friend of mine. She and I work pretty closely together on some really fun projects, and I can't wait to introduce her to you. She is the coach for Confident Leading Women, and of course, you probably know her work best as she is the social media manager for Women in Automotive. So without further ado, please help me welcome Dara Koenig. Hi.
Hello.
It is so good to finally have you on. We've been talking about doing this for so long, and it was like schedules and travel and all that stuff. So here we are. We're finally doing it.
Absolutely. And, I had to get over my own stuff of not being relevant. That was one of the big, I was like, no, I have no place on here. But I do, actually. So
yes, you absolutely do. So I know, obviously, you're doing a whole lot. You're involved in so many things. You're an author, all the social media stuff, you're coaching. How did you come to do all of this? Like, what led you down this path?
So it's really funny because I stumbled into automotive in the first place, like most of us, actually, right? Through my ex-husband, because he needed an assistant, I needed a job. And I learned automotive through him, and I've just taken such an interesting path. I was in a college course for interior design, and somehow that translated into web design and marketing. And so there was a pivot there that was made, and it ended up I was a web designer for car dealers. Dan Moore at one point was one of my bosses at SmartWeb. I got into social media. I actually introduced him to social media. I used to get in trouble. Like, why are you wasting your time on Twitter? Because it's going to be a thing. Watch. Right. But so I just really, marketing was the longest focus of my career. And at some point I was given an opportunity by Auto Alert to come learn how to be a trainer. I'm like, wait, you're going to teach me how to teach others to be really good at their job? I'm all in. Let's go do this. Yeah. And so there's where the coaching aspect came in, because as they're training me, one of my managers, she told me, she's like, you really need to learn how to ask better questions, because as a trainer, you're teaching. But when I was promoted to an account manager, I had to learn how to coax those ideas out of them and really coach them in a whole new level. So I went and got my coaching certification.
There you go.
Right? I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so from there, it really just shifted. I was like, I'm going to coach women. I'm going to help them grow. And then I shift and I come on board with the WA. And as much as I love the social, I love writing the blogs, especially now that I've gotten to shift to the interviews and I get to have these conversations with women and get to share their stories. Like, oh my gosh. So it's just been this crazy journey along this way that's given me the skills to now empower and raise up women, as well as an avenue to share the stories of those who are in our community.
It's fun because like we almost get like like a backstage pass to a lot of these women that maybe like they don't generally share with people or don't advertise themselves. And so we get that fun little piece of tell me about you that people don't know. Like,
right? Exactly. And I find the coaching part of me comes out at times where I'm asking them questions that I've discovered I really need to be asking myself. And so it's this whole give and take relationship that comes about.
What's your favorite or the interview that stuck out the most to you? Which one was that?
Oh, gosh. Well, one was yours. Okay. Coming off of the high of your standing room only first session, that was phenomenal. I loved the enthusiasm you brought to it. But beyond that one, maybe even the one I just did this week with, Catherine Kittle about the mentoring program and what we're doing there and why those changes were made. So originally when I first started them, I would send the questions and get the answers back. Right. And But then that shifted at Nashville. It's like, I'm going to sit and talk with these women. So ever since then, I get to sit and talk and have different types of conversations and go deeper. And I'm just like, I love every one of their stories. Sydney Rizzo was freaking phenomenal. And she gives me so much hope for this new generation coming in. Because I remember what it was like being the only woman in corporate that was outside of the office job, right? And so I just love all of the stories I'm getting to hear. I can't really say there's one favorite because each one has such good nuggets of wisdom that I just want to share with everybody.
Well, I like the part about Sydney, especially. I got to meet her at the conference last year, and she was still really shy. I remember because we interviewed her and 2 or 3 others from Northwood at the time, and they were all kind of shy and like weird to be on camera. And then I interviewed her pre-conference this time, and her energy was so much different. Like she gained so much confidence and like finally understood that she was where she was supposed to be, and like. It was so awesome to see her shift this year. And then even to see her on stage, like not nervous, just knocking the heck out of it and owning the stage and just like she was born to be there. It was amazing. I love her. She's awesome. So we're in prep for WIA 2026. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot that's already done. Like some of the speakers, like the main keynotes, but other than that, like we're still in the very early stages of it. What are you looking forward to most in Austin that maybe we either didn't get in Nashville or only got a little bit of it?
I'm looking forward to, one, I want to be able to participate a little bit more. I think I only got to attend like one breakout and one general session or a keynote. Yeah, it was Macy, and then half of Robin's. So like 2.5 sessions the entire time, just because I was doing so much. But I'm really looking forward to the next level of conversations, because you were telling me in our interview about how in Colorado, like everybody was in their fields and there was this one feeling. Then when we were in Nashville, we're talking about raising up that next generation. And personally, for me, I love that because that's that leadership in me. So I was all over getting to talk to everybody I can and listen what's going on when I could. I want to see what's coming next. How are we building that momentum, right? How are we talking about sharing stories of how we're raising up the leaders? Not just saying, let's do it, but let's share stories of what's been done. I know Catherine had mentioned, and this will be shared in her interview that goes up in a couple of weeks, but she's hoping that from this new mentorship group, we can do a panel and talk about what was happening in those relationships and how people grew and developed. So that's it for me. I can't wait to see that next level of conversation come into the industry.
Well, and that mentor conversation was so big. I remember that at the conference that was one of the biggest takeaways was like, I'm either ready to be a mentee or I'm ready to be a mentor, or I didn't realize for so many years because of, I never put a title on it, what a mentor was. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I feel like you might agree with me on this one. I feel like that This episode is brought to you by Epic BDC, your #1 outsourced BDC solution. Check out more about Epic BDC by clicking the link in the show notes or visiting epicbdc.com. Was Bobby's legacy that got left back there. Like, that was 100% her thing, because she was so big on the mentoring program and making sure that it succeeded, and that, you know, nobody ever felt left behind or felt like, you know, nobody was there for them. And she would be everybody's mentor if she had the time for it. That was just her. And so it felt like I think that was all of our way of keeping her alive, was making sure that not only continued to happen, but thrived. And I've heard so much about it. I've gotten texts from people who were in the mentoring program. I took a step back from it this time around, because I was like, listen, I got a whole lot going on. I don't have the time to give to this right now, but I keep getting text messages about it. And I'm like, well, it sounds like it's going really well. Like, that it's succeeding really well. And Catherine is a beast. She is running it like a boss. And I love every bit of what she's doing. Like, it's amazing. So I'm really excited to see what happens with that this year too.
Absolutely. And I very much agree with Bobby being one of the champions. And I think that that's from the age of the industry that we came up in. Yeah. Because I hate to say it, 'cause I'm really going to age myself here. I also just told you I celebrated like my 45th a few years ago, but I've been in the industry for almost 25 years. Right. And so, like I said, I was the only woman in corporate. I was the only woman working outside of the business office, or we had once a BDC trainer when I was in the dealership. But even then, there was a time where there was an opening available to run the department I was building, right? The official director level position, and bring people underneath. And the owner told me I could not have it because he needed a man between me and him. He always needed me to report to a man. I couldn't report directly to him. And so, yeah, I'm dead serious. It was shortly after that I started looking for avenues to leave, because I knew I was capped out. But that's the industry we grew up in. When you're in the car dealership at that time frame, 2012, somewhere around there, that's what it was like in a lot of them. And so absolutely, I can see why Bobby would be that big advocate for that mentorship. Like, hey, we got through it all the hard ways. Let's make the path a little bit easier for this next generation coming in.
Yeah. And it's funny, because a lot of people ask me a lot of times, like, you know, why I'm an open book, why I'm willing to share everything, or, you know, why the podcast, why is this the avenue you took? And it's same situation for me. Like, I was in a boat at one point where I felt like I had nobody to ask questions to before I was like super involved in the industry. I didn't have a network of people. And then I realized, like, it's not just me. There's hundreds of other women out there who are struggling with one thing or another, and they don't have the people to ask for help. So like, let me take the voices I know and share them out. Like, especially number one, if I know they're a good person, like, and they're not going to screw you over, absolutely, we're going to do that thing. And then also, like, if they're out there doing good things with their product, their service, or whatever, like, this is something that people need to know about. And I won't let people just come and cold advertise their products on my show. If they try, I meet with them ahead of time and like, listen, I'm not a TV station you can just put a commercial on. Like, That's not how this is going to go. So
good for you.
Yeah. Well, and it's important, because like, I don't ever want to just be that show for the audience. Like, the audience is the only reason I'm here. So like, let me give you good things and good people. Like, that's what's most important. And so nobody should ever have to feel like that in a dealership. I mean, and I feel like I don't know, it's tough to say, because there's some areas that are like decades behind other places, but but it feels like we're making progress as an industry towards more, I don't know that we're to equality yet, but maybe equity, where, you know, where we're showing some equal opportunities. It's, I don't know. I hear stories every now and then that are still happening, and I'm like, God dang it, still.
Right. Still. And here's a story of growth. That same dealership that the owner told me I had to have a man supervise me, he now has 2 female GMs.
Really?
Yes. But that's good. That's really good. You know what? I love that he finally grew.
That is good. It's just like, you couldn't have done it back then. Like,
but you know what? I would have probably not left. I wouldn't have gotten the experience. I wouldn't have gotten to travel all over the country as a trainer for Auto Alert, launching dealerships, or as a consultant. I wouldn't have gained the experience if I had stayed. But because I left, I got out of that little marketing niche, which so many people dismissed me when I was in that role because I made pretty pictures.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Like, you try. You spend 45 minutes on a graphic and then tell me I just make pretty pictures.
Right? Exactly.
What's the one thing that, if you're not watching this, you have no idea what I just did, but I definitely just silently raised a fist. What's the one thing, you do a lot of coaching, what's the one thing that women in any industry are kind of missing when it comes to, leading or being confident? Like, what's that one thing that you're like, this is what we're hitting on first, no matter what?
So that's actually, I love that you asked that, because in my coaching philosophy, I have what I call the 3 I's of leadership: identity, integrity, and influence. And I always start with identity, because too many women have this seed of self-doubt that they have let water be watered by others, and they themselves have kept watered. And so that is the very first thing we work on, regardless of what your end goal is. How do you feel about yourself? Who do you see that you are? Because if you can't be your own biggest cheerleader, now mind you, we all have bad days. Okay, we all have bad days. But if at the end of the day, if everything comes out, you can't be your own biggest cheerleader and believe in yourself more than anybody else, you will never get there. And so identity is where I start with every single client.
That's huge. And it's funny because that one's a little bit personal for me too. Cause like over the last several months, like I got so wrapped up in the podcast or within WIA or within stuff for work that I'm like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like I feel like I have to change personalities 6 times a day. And I don't know who myself at my core is, like wife, stepmom, boss, all these things. And it's like, I don't like that. I don't know like what I like anymore. Like if I just had a tired day to do what I wanted to do, what the heck would I do? I don't know. I'd probably work. I don't know.
Right.
So that's something that it almost seems taboo to talk about, like just freely. But I think it's something a lot of us go through, like, especially the more that we have to kind of alter ourselves to, I don't know, if not necessarily fit in, but to excel in what we're doing, then we do become identified by our career or our home life or whatever it is. And you lose your actual identity.
Absolutely. And I want to make something clear, just because I'm able to coach to it doesn't mean I don't struggle with it myself. Right. I have this freedom in the last 2 years to where I don't have to do anything. Right. I don't. My amazing husband has blessed us with a life after we got over these initial hurdles that I can now work on whatever I want. I actually took 8 months off when I quit my last corporate position because I really wanted to get clear. It took me 6 months to stop feeling like I needed to be in hyper productivity mode all the time. But
did you know that there's a monthly newsletter where you can keep in touch with everything the I'm a Car Chick podcast is up to? There is. Check out the show notes below, and you can also follow us on all social media and stay in tune with whatever we're up to.
I have this opportunity in front of me with so many different areas that I'm working on. I'm writing another book. I'm training these agencies. I'm still writing for WIA. My husband and I are planning a church. I'm developing ministry over here. Where do I want to go? And so I am going to go and find a mentor that's going to help me perfect that. Like, okay, who is Dara in this upcoming season? I'm about to be an empty nester. My youngest daughter is a senior in high school and has already been accepted to college, and she's off next fall. Right. So my entire identity changes again. Mm-hmm. And so I love that, as people, I want to say as women, but generally as people, we get the opportunity to reinvent ourselves again. And sometimes that's hard. And it's definitely scary because new things are always scary.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to go and be able to have these conversations with the women I'm coaching, I need to be open to it as well. And so I'm looking forward to that in this next season, is really fine tuning my new identity or refined identity and where my focus is going to be going, even for just the next 5 years.
And it's, you know, I never even thought about it until you just said it, that we're reinventing ourselves for different seasons, and how much of a mind boggle that is, that we have to change our personality almost, or that, you know, my daily routine looks different. Like, I'm a heavy routine person. I got a routine every day, that if something jacks with that, I'm all out of sorts. But like, the amount of times that we pivot and do that, like, we got to acknowledge that. We got to acknowledge, okay, this season of life is ending. We're coming over here to this, whether it's a job change, a schedule change, we do it every year when the kids are out of school for summer, right? Like, what do I do with these kids that are home all the time? Now I go from paying the school to feed them. Now I've got to figure out how to feed them, because when they're at home, they can't control themselves. And
Right.
Like, this is a problem, and we got to figure this out. And, you know, checking on them to make sure, like, hey, you guys didn't burn the house down, right? Like, all these things while you're still trying to work and provide. And so it's one of those things that I don't know that I ever would have put my thumb on that like, hey, we got to acknowledge that things are changing right now, and don't be so hard on yourself while you're going through.
Yeah, it's like 17-year-old Shasta isn't the same as 25-year-old Shasta isn't the same as now Shasta. You've had different identities through each of those. And it's really just embracing what needs to shift, what you have to let go of, because it's no longer going to serve you well going into this. And who do you really want to become? One of the first exercises I do with all of the coaches, all of the women I coach, is I have them write a letter to themselves, depending on what their goal is. I have them fast forward as much as 5 years. Who is this woman in 5 years? What does her daily routine look like? What is she wearing? What does her home look like? What does she have to eat in a day? How is her routine? What is she physically like? How does she carry herself? Who does she surround herself with? And really look at who that woman is, and like, okay, how do we start building towards her now? How do we start shifting our identity from who we are now to who we want to be in that time frame?
And so much of that plays into what I feel like a big theme of the conference was, which was a really looking to the future. Like, a lot of us called it goal setting, or vision boards was Kate Borowski's thing. But so much of that was like, you know, you wake up one day and realize, like, where did the last 5 years go? I don't feel like I've made a whole lot of progress in 5 years, or whatever it is. And like, really just creating that roadmap of how to get from here to there. And that's awesome. Like, I don't know that I've ever even heard that perspective of like, start with the future, work your way back. Mm-hmm. Like, we always start here and figure out, how do I get to here? How do I climb this ladder and get here? And it's like, okay, work backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, work backwards. Pick up what's the very last tool that you need. What is that last thing? And then keep going back to where you are, so that way you know what you need to pick up and gather and change or let go of to make it to the end goal.
Well, and if you think about, I don't know if you're anything like me, or if this is just my weird brain when I do this, but like, say you got dinner at 6, but you got to pick up the kids, drop them off with the parents, or blah, 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 whatever. So you have to start first with the 6 o'clock and then work your way back. Okay, it's going to take me 15 minutes to drive there from the mother-in-law's house. It's going to take me 20 minutes to drive to mother-in-law's house from my house. It's going to take the kids 30 minutes to get ready. I need to leave by X o'clock. Like,
exactly.
But if I had to do that from here, working my way up to there, like, I could never do the math. Like, it wouldn't compute. And so it makes more sense to do it that way. And even, you know, really just build upon that, and build upon, I don't know, that's perplexing me. Like the me in 5 years thing. Like, and I imagine it's probably most women react the same way. Like, well, I don't know, like 5 years, I'll probably be an empty nester. I don't know. Like, I got a 13 and a 14-year-old. So at least the last one would be probably in her senior year, or just graduated. I can't remember what year she graduates, but I'd probably be close to an empty nester too. I don't know if they're going to college, but like, what does that look like? Oh my God, I gotta entertain my husband all the time. It opens your, like, and I'm someone who thinks about goals and all that stuff. So for that to get my mind rolling, you broke me.
Well, hopefully you can now walk backwards and pick up all the pieces to be put back together.
If not, I will tag you in for help.
I'm here for you. I got you.
Thank you. Gosh dang, I had a question in mind before my brain went off on all that path. I think it was about your book. So your first book, you're writing your second book?
I'm actually in the process of writing my fifth. Yes. Fifth. Yes.
How did I not know this?
Most of my books are devotionals. So I've written 3 devotionals. Matt and I wrote a marriage book together, and then I wrote Authentic Confidence. And I'm kind of working on revamping that one now.
Interesting.
And then I'm writing a very more in-depth book about my views on marriage and relationships.
So when do you sleep?
It's funny.
In the beginning, but you're not getting a whole lot.
No, this week is definitely challenging when the child comes home from work at 11 o'clock at night, because you don't sleep if they're not home, especially when she's driving home at night and she's a new driver. But it's really, really funny because I have the flexibility in my schedule that I do. I have a very laid back life, but I also don't put pressure on myself. Like, okay, I need to have this next one done in 6 months. Right. And so I have to keep myself focused, but I don't put that kind of pressure on myself right now.
So why, you're involved in so many things. What led to the desire to write the book about marriage? Like, what was the thing that stood out that said, I need to put pen to paper and I need to make this happen? Or keys to keyboard?
Because I've gotten it wrong twice. And now I finally understand marriage. Matt and I just celebrated 5 years being married. We've been together for 8. But I feel like I now understand it, and I can speak into those who maybe didn't get it right the first time. They don't understand the...
This episode is brought to you by SCP Agency, your one-stop shop for organic social media. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or visit scpagency.com.
What submitting to one another looks like, what honoring one another looks like. And because you hear those words and a lot of times you think weak. And I think I now have the wisdom to be able to speak into those who are maybe contemplating getting married or have done it wrong and want to fix it and make it better. And so I just think it's one of those messages that has to be heard.
Because it was a conversation between a friend and mine not too long ago, a few weeks ago about submitting. And for her, it was like, I've always lived in my masculine energy and, been the leader in the relationship, that I'm finally ready to come straight out and say, like, I don't want to be the leader anymore. I want to be in my feminine energy. I want to, submit to his leadership and all of that. And what's frequently missed in that, do you think?
The trust to let them make mistakes and still protect you. Because they're not going to do it the way you want them to.
That part.
But they're going to protect you. They're going to love you. They're going to provide for you. They're going to put you above all things if you let them find their way to do it.
I like that. That's a good explanation for it. And I think that as women, we tend to want to be in control of things. And then we ask them or tell them to do things and then scald them when they don't do it right. So I think that is very important, is to let them do it even if it's wrong.
Yeah. And right is our version of right.
Yeah.
And so we have to wonder, is that the only way it can be done as well? If the result is the same, what's the matter? Right? Why is it important that their method is different? And even what if they came up with a better result than we could have thought of? And I think that is probably a big challenge for those of us in this industry, especially those who have been in a while, because we have to have this non-soft presence, right? We have to be harder. We have to be a little bit stronger. We have to just take up more space, and sometimes be making that shift to coming home and handing that authority over to somebody else is hard to let go of. It's really hard. But you know what? We get to rest then. We get to truly rest.
Yeah.
And support them and just be us.
That's a solid point. And I think a lot of that leads to, I think about a Clubhouse I was in a few weeks ago, and I posted this on LinkedIn, where someone had come on the stage and say, these women stand on stages and tell other women, you can have it all, and you can't have it all.
No.
And it's like, I mean, I feel like number one, everybody's version of all is different. Like, what does having it all look like to you? But also, like, why not? Why can't you have what you want? Like, I don't like that we're stifling ambitions, but also, like, her take on it was women have executive function of the household. Like, number one, why do I got to make all the decisions? Like, I make all the decisions at work. Why do I got to make them at home too? Like, but it's something that's more naturally available to us than it is to men, I think, which is weird. My husband's in law enforcement. He's very good at telling people what to do. I don't know why he can't just do it. But like, it's one of those things that, like, how do we do it all? Like, honestly, how do women do it all? And we do it pretty well most of the time. Like, we manage home, work, ourselves pretty well. Like, what do we have? Like, I don't know, like,
details matter to us.
It's true.
Details matter, relationships matter. And because of those things, we're wired to be more, multitask. I hate the word because you're never really focusing on more than one thing at a time, but we're able to go make that transition from one thing to another much faster, much faster. But also, if you look in the difference in even the way we communicate, okay, women tell stories. They fill in all of the blanks. They fill in the details. It's just because we're wired to notice and pay attention and want to, we notice everything around us. And so it just makes us more present and taking care of things, I guess is the right way to, whereas men, short point to no details, no fluff. They're very linear moving, very laser focused. And so you could set them on a task, they're going to go. Whereas you put a woman on a task, she's going to notice all the other people around her, how it's affecting them, what they need. She's still going to get the task done, but she's going to serve everybody around her. And it's just because of who we are. That's all.
I was next to my husband one day and I was watching this video. I don't know if it was TikTok or Facebook or something. And it was this woman who, like, started off the video ironing her clothes. And then she's like, oh, I forgot to put water in the iron. And then she goes to the kitchen to get the water for the iron. And she's like, oh, I forgot to load the dishwasher. Starts loading the dishwasher. Oh my gosh, I forgot to put dishwasher tabs on the laundry or on the grocery list. Goes to the grocery list. Oh my gosh, I don't know if we have any toilet paper. Like, and then she starts this whole thing. And in the middle of it, my husband goes, you have to shut that off. Like, I cannot listen to another second of that. I'm like, why? He's like, if my brain sounded like that, I would go insane. And I'm like, yours doesn't?
Right?
What do you mean? He's like, if I had an internal dialogue like that or thoughts popping up that quickly, I couldn't handle myself. And I'm like, what does your brain sound like? What happens in your head? Because that's my head every day. What are you talking about?
Exactly. But that's why they're good at what they do. You set them on a task, you set them on a mission, guess what? They're going to knock it out of the park.
Yep. But they, power to them. They can fall asleep in like 5 seconds flat. And it's like, we gotta literally start booting down the computer for the day. Like, all right, we're going to close this tab, close those tabs, shut down this application.
Oh yeah, Matt and I have this routine every night at bedtime that if it's not followed, I can't. Nope. Mm-hmm. Nope. That's my process. It just has to happen.
Yep. It's I don't know. It's just one of those things where I think that it's sometimes it's a hindrance, but I think it's a lot of times it's a superpower.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So, what other cool things are you working on right now that we didn't already talk about?
Well, let's see. We talked about Women in Automotive, the blog, and the writing. By the way, if you have anybody or if anybody's listening and they want to come share their story, email me. Okay. social@womenonautomotive.org. I would love to tell your story to everybody. So I have that going on. Let's see. I am working with 2 local nonprofits where I get to build their training team. Right.
Right.
And so I'm going in and like teaching their staff who are the subject matter experts of these incredible programs. They serve like over the 15 surrounding counties and do just incredible work with the community, helping women out of poverty, helping new business owners, all of these things. And I can't do the work that they do, but I can help train so that way they can equip each other. So I get to do that. Matt and I are planting a church.
You've made it this far, and I have to say thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to rate the show, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and of course on all social media channels. Light it up.
Which is terrifying. We're just going to leave terrifying. And yeah, so I've got a few things going on at the moment. But
what's the plan with the church?
So the plan with the church is actually quite different because we believe in strong families. And so we're doing family style service. There's no kids ministry. There's no separate youth, anything like that. We're all learning and growing together. And our goal is to equip the parents to be the spiritual leaders of their home and not send them off to kids ministry or whatever and be like, oh, what did you learn? Well, we learned Jesus did this, or we drew pictures. Well, the parents are off learning something else. Yeah. So we're going to keep the family together and teach everybody all at once.
Are you worried about the babies crying?
You know what? As a grandma, okay, yes, I'm a grandmother. I don't mind it as much as when it's mine. But that's the other thing is we're having a team of people who can go sit with the families.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, hey, you know what? Do you mind if I sit in color with little Jane here while you guys listen?
That's cool.
And I know as a parent, something always shifted in me when I got to watch my kids worship and watch them pray in church. And I can only imagine what it was like for them to see that in me. Why would we separate families? Why would we not encourage that? Let them grow together.
Yeah, I like that. Do you guys have a date on when you think I know you guys are still in the very early stages of it, but when you guys think it'll be done?
Well, right now we're already gathering in our home. And cool. Yeah, we're already gathering in our home every other week. We're moving to every month or every week next month. And in about 6 months, we'll be ready to move into a location.
Nice. That's so cool.
Thank you.
I love that for you guys. You guys are so much fun to be around anyways. He adores you anyway. So it's awesome that you guys are getting to do this together.
I won the husband lottery. I really did with that one.
He adores you for sure. It's funny because I met him. I don't know if you guys know, because it was right before my husband and I got married. So you guys weren't married yet, but you were probably together. I think I met him at one of the Rockstar conferences, and just seeing the different him between now and then, like, is really cool.
Oh yeah. I joke with him. It's great because he's bald now, but I joke with him that his big hair at the time almost cost him. Once I saw it in person, was almost like, no, I can't do this.
I feel that. I have to look at this every day for the rest of my life. We're gonna talk about that.
Exactly. He shaved his face one time. I was like, "You're not allowed to do that." He's like, "It's my face." I was like, "I have to look at it."
Yep. I tell my husband the exact same thing. Like because how their policies have changed at the police department. Like they used to not be able to have any hair at all on their face, and so like he would be baby faced, and I'm like, you are testing my love, my guy. Like you are meant to have facial hair on your face. Like you just got that kind of face.
Yeah.
So now he keeps some scruff there. It's not allowed to be too long, but he's allowed to have some scruff. And I'm like, if you ever just randomly think about shaving, you talk to me first. Like, we're not doing this. I don't know what it is about men and facial hair, but like they gotta have it most of the time.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
They look like babies without it.
Yeah. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. They look like the kids is the problem. Now look like a kid, like your kid.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
This was so much fun today. I think we needed this, a time to just kind of get out of work brain for a little bit and just kind of have fun and talk. What is the, I know you mentioned the social at womeninautomotive.org email, but what else is a great way to connect with you? Are you on social? Well, obviously you're on social, but like.
I'm more active on LinkedIn than anything. So I'm on LinkedIn. You can always visit my website, darakoenig.com, Koenig.
Looks like Koenig, that's like Koenig.
I knew once I got married, my first name and last name would forever be butchered. It just would. So
I feel that. Most people 9 times out of 10 call me Shasta or some weird version of that, and they all say Haddock. So I let it happen now. I don't correct anybody anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Matt does though. I'll let it slide, but no, he is big. He will correct.
I've known a lot of people with that spelling of last name, and you guys are the first ones I've ever met that pronounce it Koenig. It was always Koenig. Like the people I knew in school, anybody else I've known, they always said Koenig, or they just didn't correct anybody. I don't know.
Could be both, but yeah. I didn't know. For the first year that he and I were dating, I had to double check every time I spelled the last name.
Okay. Oh, I can imagine.
Oh, it's even funnier. So my previous last name was Moore, right? Everybody thought early in my career that Dan Moore and I were related.
I was just about to ask, how did that affect you? Were you and Dan Moore?
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, no relation at all. Yeah. I was like, he's great. I know, but
you guys had the short D name. So like, you guys could have played it off. Dan and Dara Moore. Like,
right. Exactly.
I'm friends with both of them, so I can say that, but you cannot. This was so much fun today. Like I said, we needed this. I can't wait to do it again. We're obviously going to talk again later today because we have a Women in Automotive call. But guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to go follow Dara on LinkedIn, connect with her. Check out the Women in Automotive blog. She puts so much time and energy into that, and it's amazing. Check out everything she's doing because she's out there doing some really cool things. Even though she won't dote on herself, she is out there doing amazing things.
Thank you. That is one of the biggest things I'm working on, is learning how to talk about the work that I do. So
I think you said it. I don't know if we were recording yet or not, but you'd said something about like we need to be our biggest cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
That part, because, and I always go back to what they say on the plane, like secure your oxygen mask first before helping anybody else. And it's like, nobody will put you first except for you. Not even your spouse, not your kids, not your parents. You got to come first for you.
Absolutely. And I've always struggled with that line between coming across as like bragging, because we've seen, especially in our industry, so many just arrogant people like just blowing smoke up at what they do. Mm. And for the longest, I was like, oh, if I'm really doing great work, then my clients will talk about me. Why would they do that? Why would they talk about me and how I'm supporting their business as opposed to how their business is growing? Because it's like, great. And so, yeah, it's just that small shift in remembering that I can talk about the work that I do, because I get to, full 180 moment, right? One of my first interns has recently reached out to me asking if I would be her executive coach now. That's because awesome. I helped her get to where she started in her career, and she did great. And she's like, I need that next level, and I really think you're the right one to take me there. It's like, okay, let's talk. And so it's little things like that I remember I was like, yeah, I can talk about what I'm doing, because if she didn't know where I was doing now, she wouldn't come to me and ask for help, because she wouldn't know that I have the skill set now to take her where she needs to go.
I love that. It's kismet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All the things. I love it. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you. You were fun to talk to.
Oh, I love talking to you every time we talk.
Well, good, because I'll see you in 2 hours?
All right. All right, guests, we will see you next time. Like I said, be sure to go follow Dara and check out all the things that she's doing. But until next time, I will see you guys later.